So I have my nice little button. It says I love cats. I got it for my sister for Christmas because I'm a cat obsessed person. That's something different. Hi guys, so I'm back with a new video, but this one's going to be a different one. It's a tag video, and it's a writing tag video. I think it's called Writer's Tag? Yeah, that's what it's called. Yeah, because I think I mentioned in my first video that besides like loving books and reading, I also love to write. So I figured I would do the writing tag just to kind of, I don't know, give you some insight into that. First question is, what do you write? I write mainly novels. I have written a short story here or there, but mostly it's just novels that I've written. When I was younger, I used to try to do poetry, but not anymore. I don't think that's something for me. So I just stick with writing novels. Number 2, what do you mostly write about? Well, if I classified like the things that I write, they would fall under fiction. And a lot of them are like fantasy based. So they have elements of magic or supernatural beings and creatures. And they do always end up having a female main character. Yeah, the main character is normally always female. I think I have 1 or 2 that are male, but they're mostly always females. And then the themes within my books, my novels, are usually things that I feel strongly about, depending on when I wrote them. So different kind of issues like depression, or boys, or friends, things like that. So I inject different themes that closely relate to my own life into the books and the characters, and I just kind of use that as fodder for my writing. Okay, so the next question is, what's my favorite thing about writing? Honestly, I just love everything about writing. I love words. I love putting pen to paper, fingers to keyboard, and just basically just putting out there everything that I have in my head and I'm thinking of and I'm dreaming of, and just being able to make ideas and characters and people and situations just come to life. It's just a way to kind of like be creative. And writing for me personally, I think is very therapeutic because I like to make it personal, in the sense that I like to use real life examples. Well, I like to use parallels between my life and inject them into my character's world and just explore them that way. So in that sense, it's very therapeutic that way. And I don't know, it's just the whole process of just creating something and having it come to life and be bigger and better than what you imagined in your head, or just, I don't know, it's just really, I love writing. So the next question is, who or what inspired you to start writing or keep writing? And for that, I don't know if I have an answer. I can't really recall if there was a person that inspired me to write. I did read a lot when I was younger, and I think just reading all these different kinds of books and being exposed to all these different types of worlds through other people's eyes, being exposed to all these different characters and different worlds that could exist or weren't possible in real life, and the fact that they came alive when you read them opened me up to want to write. To be able to create something that somebody else could look at and be immersed in and be interested and be captivated by everything that that came from my own thoughts and my own memories, and just, I think that in general opened me up to wanting to write. And I think also just the fact that writing is such a therapeutic process. For me, writing is something that's very personal and therapeutic and relaxing. So I think that also goes why I would be inspired to write, because I saw it as a way to release whatever thoughts or emotions or feelings or frustrations or just anything that I was feeling. Yeah, so. Okay, so my favorite character that I've ever written has to be this character that I wrote for a story. His name is Rigo, and I like automatically, I think, fell in love with this character. The character, I wrote him for or he was written, he came to be for it's a fantasy book. I guess I would say it's a high fantasy kind of book that I was writing. That he's just, I don't know what it is, something about him is just very enigmatic. He's very personable and high energy. He's charismatic. He is kind, funny, caring. He doesn't care what anyone thinks about him. He's very comfortable in his own skin. At the same time, he's also kind of a daydreamer, a bit of a daydreamer, that it makes him seem aloof at times, and he's kind of like has to be brought down from time to time back to, the situation at hand. And even though he's very loud and not in a negative sense, but even though he's very, energetic, has high energy, and he's very kind of look at me, he also has a side to him that's very calm and caring, and he's extremely smart, but he kind of covers that up with his smiles and flouncy speech, which obviously always wins people over. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's like my favorite character that I've ever written. I don't know. He's like everyone's best friend, basically. He's a friend that you would love to have. So the next question is, when did you first start writing? I can't, honestly, I can't remember when I started writing. Maybe my mom would know, but I mean, I'm pretty sure ever since I could pick up a pencil, I was writing something. But like actual, I guess, coherent stories, who knows? Probably since I've been like 4. I remember, I still have actually this poem that I wrote in kindergarten that was about a bumblebee. And I just, even now, I think it's really cute, and it doesn't sound that bad. Yeah, so I've been writing for a really long time. It's not something that I can pinpoint exactly when it happened, but I've always been interested in writing. What was the first thing that I wrote? Oh gosh, I can't remember. I don't know what was the first thing I wrote. The only thing that I can remember, because I have, is like I mentioned, which is the poem about the bumblebee. And I picked a bumblebee because my name is Melissa, so it means honeybee. And then my last name starts with a B, so I figured it would be easy, I guess, to combine the two, and it made sense to me. I think it's like the honeybee buzzes. Okay, I kind of remember it. It's like the honeybee buzzes busily, something like that. I don't even know. I used alliteration and all that stuff, but yeah, that's the only thing I can really remember as being like the first thing I was writing. And I know I wrote also in like kindergarten stuff about dinosaurs. So that's another thing. I was really into dinosaurs then. The first story I could think of writing that was more than like 1 page was, we had to do this project, I remember, I think it was 4th or 5th grade, I'm not sure. And I don't remember what was the topic. I think we had to, honestly, I don't remember what was the topic. But I think I had to write something to do with the Amazon rainforest. And I ended up writing this, like, I barely remember it, but I remember when I wrote it, I was so proud and so happy about it, and I loved it so much. I don't know, it was something about like kids going into the Amazon rainforest to visit and stuff happening there. I barely remember, and I think I probably have like a page of it, and the other pages I don't know, I guess I lost. But that's like the first story that I could really remember writing, and it was about the Amazon rainforest. And to this day, I'm still obsessed, and I'm going to go to the Amazon rainforest because of the story that I read. I mean, the story that I wrote, which I had researched about the rainforest. So I'm gonna go. My favorite story that I wrote. I think I have two different ones. I have one that I wrote years and years ago, and I never ended up finishing because at the time, I don't know, I just thought that it was crap. And then when I looked back on it, when I was older, I realized like it was really good. I don't know why I ended up thinking that it was like bad, but it was about because I wrote it when I was, I don't know, in junior high school, I think. Yeah, it's about I think it was a 15-year-old girl named Bridget, because I was obsessed with the name Bridget when I was younger, like obsessed. I was assured, like I thought that I was going to name my child Bridget. I don't have any children, but I was really, really obsessed with Bridget. Anyways, yeah, she was 14, she was adopted, and lived in a small town, and she ended up going to go visit her, I think her cousin. I think she ends up staying for the summer with her cousin, who's actually related to her, to find out more about her family, if I remember right. And then when she's there, like, just teenage stuff happens to her and stuff. So it's just a fiction, it was just fiction based, and more of, you know, one of those, like, growing up kind of books where teenage girl goes through stuff, is teased, bullied. There's obviously, she obviously has peers that she interacts with. Some she likes, some she doesn't, and just, I don't know, it was just about like being the pressures of being a 14-year-old growing up, and then added to that being adopted and not really knowing who you are, kind of thing. I don't know why I thought that was such a bad story, but that's the first story I remember writing. Well, the first one that I like. And my second favorite one, so the other story that I really like that I wrote is one that I wrote last year. Yeah, but I came up with it like 2 years ago. And yeah, I was just throwing around ideas with my siblings, and I don't know, they put it in my head that I should actually write that as a book. And so, yeah, I started doing that. So it's a family of 6, and they have magic. So it's a fantasy kind of book. But they're not witches or anything like that, but they do have magic. All of them a little bit different than the other. And the book starts off right away as there's a big confrontation that goes on, and during the conversation, 2 of the family members end up dying. Yet 3 are pretty much affected. One becomes a vampire, the other one becomes a ghost, and then there's another one that ends up being affected, but just in a different way. Yeah, they end up going on the run to hide from the people that they have the confrontation with, and end up settling in a small town where they have to fit in, conceal who they are, and try to assimilate and be normal, whatever normal is, and as well, and also deal with their new reality, their new family dynamic with 2 of their family members being dead, one being undead, and the other one just being dead. And it's yeah, I don't know. It's like it's like so many different stories like build into one, but that's like the gist of that one. So I really like that story. Okay, so the last question is, do you want to be published? I do want to be published. I want to be a published author. Yeah, it's just something I've always dreamed of, and I will. I will get to do. I just want to share my writing with other people and hope that they enjoy it. And yeah. Okay, so that's the end of this tag video. Hopefully you enjoyed it, or you got a little bit of more insight into what I'm about, what I'm into, how, I don't know, I feel about stuff. If you're interested in the tag, then feel free to. So I tag any and everybody who wants to do it pretty much. And I will link below the original video for the tag. And that's it. I guess I'll leave you off with a question. How about you pick one of the questions and you answer it below in the comment section. If you want to, you don't have to. And that's it. I'll see you guys next week for a new video. Bye!